Om Pranavo Dhanosharo Jatma Brahmata Lakshya Uchate Apramatena Vedavyam Sharavatan Mayo Bhave. Om Bhadrang Kardivi Srinyamadeva Bhadrang Pashyemakshavirya Sthirairangaistastavam sastanovi Vyaseva deva hitam yadaya. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Oh Lord, I have these two ears from which everything from the outside comes in and goes and form my mind. But I want that divine ear so that I hear your sound all the time. I should hear you in my meditation, that silence, that's your language. And these two eyes, they bring information from far away and they send it to the brain and also comes up to form my mind. But like Lord Shiva, oh Lord, I want to develop that divine eye. That with these two physical eyes closed, I should see or you manifesting in all your creation. And to come to the conclusion, to let me rediscover that I have come from the same place also. And let these two arms and two legs and all my faculties be for the welfare of the world. Let there be collaboration, cooperation with you to sustain this universe. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us chant the tune. Om Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Om Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Om Pranavam Sharanam Gacchami. Om Acharyam Sharanam Gacchami. Om Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Om Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Om Pranavam Sharanam Gacchami. Om Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Om. Devotees, welcome and to this Saturday morning here in America, Jamaica, Queens, New York, USA. And I'm sure that we're from all parts of the world, and you from India, that you are coming to your evening and getting ready to go to bed as we wake up here in America. This is how the earth is working. And I will, from this morning, I want to talk about how we can apply what we learn from the scriptures. Because the application should not, what we learn should not be sitting in our brains and in memory and have this egotistic feeling that I'm learning it. But the application is what is necessary. Right understanding and right application. These are the things that will make us advance. And when we have a guru like Swami Parameshananda, and when we've seen what he has done, then it is so important that we emulate that. This is why they come, so that we can learn from them. And for us at the BHARAT SEVASHRAM he has created. I had the opportunity of working with so much great realized souls, disciples, direct disciples of Swami Parameshananda. And when they speak to you, it is so interesting because they will transmit that knowledge to you. For instance, one of the things that I learned going to Durga Puja in Banaras, that Swami Parameshananda would have deliberately bring that worship in existence. of the mother, manifestation of consciousness to take care of Mahisasura. But when we worship, we have the two deities, the two Kartikeya and Ganeshi on one side of the mother, and other side Lakshmi and Saraswati, Mother Lakshmi and Mother Saraswati. And Swami Parameshananda would have brought them together specifically to unite all Hindus, because they would represent the four classes of Hinduism. The Brahmanas, all people, it's not that they exclusively, but Brahmanas will worship Saraswati Maha and the teachers because for the knowledge that she gives. The Kshatriyas would be worshipping Kartikeya because of the military leadership that he would have, he's famous for that. And then for Lakshmi Ma, the wealth and prosperity and light, and Saraswati Ma for the knowledge. So the Ganeshji for the Vaishyas, for the Sudras, and Kartikeya for the Kshatriyas, and Mother Lakshmi, we want to the business class, and then of course the army there for the Kartikeya. So these are the four classes. But this morning I want to focus on Mother Lakshmi, because we always asking for money, right? We need it, and we should go about securing it for our well-being. But money in itself is not properly used. It is the source of our sorrow and suffering, and ultimately our destruction. That when we ask for money, that we have to use it for the right purposes. And in chapter 18, verse 5, I'm going to read it to you, that how we should use money and what are the things that we should not give up. For instance, yagya damnam tapas karma nachajam karman evatat yagyo danam tapas chaiva pavanami manishinam. Let's try that one more time again. Yagya dana tapas karma natyajam karyam evatat yagyo dana tapas chaiva pavanami manishinam. Arjuna, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should not be given up. They must be performed for sacrifice. Gifts and penance are purifiers of the learned and also the unlearned. So let's get that one. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should not be given up. They must be performed for sacrifice, gift, and penance are purifiers for all, especially for the learned. What a beautiful sloka. So this is something that we should not give up. So when we ask for money, Swami Parameshananda would have said, what is religion? Self-sacrifice, self-abnegation, self-discipline, adherence to truth, and countenance. That religion, again, is corresponding to this Gita sloka, that religion has to be performed, that we should never give up the sacrifice. Now, when I give talks in the morning, before we do the Aarati, it is always prompted by the calls that I get from devotees. Like money, that we should not tempt ourselves or another person beyond their resistance. And that is very important. Never tempt yourself beyond your resistance. In other words, don't think or be in a position where your resistance would be weakened and you will fall prey of a desire that would ultimately ruin you. So one young lady, she calls and she says, Swamiji, I'm so sad because, we had a trusted worker and we didn't realize it, but every time my husband brings the money and put it on the table, sometimes I don't pick it up right away after he sells in the market. And usually I have to take it and put it in the room safely. But I realized this money was missing and I didn't pay attention even from her bag. And then she say, oh, when we traced her, it was the aide, the person who's there helping them out with the chores of the house, has been taking the money. And when they reflected, oh, she has taken so much that she took vacations and she's building her house and make it so nice. And so then her sadness is there, what? Temptations. Also, I could remember in India, we were in the train, and Swami Buddhanand would have said to me, we were there going for a function, and there was Swami Buddhanand, a realized soul. So one person come, a young child, and she's sweeping the train, and she's stretching the hand out, and I was pushing my hand in my pocket to give the money. So then Buddhanand Swamiji held my hand very calmly and said, don't do it. So then I asked him, and I said, Swamiji, I have a desire. So I said, he insists, don't do it. So then I did it. And then within like a couple minutes, there were 15, 20 children came, and they were stretching their hands out and physically putting their hands in my pocket and wanted to take the money. Because what? They're there to tempt them beyond the resistance. So we have to be very careful when we give money. There was one time I was in Kolkata and I had some extra money, and my brother monks were there. So I went to Buddhanand Swamiji and said, Swamiji, I like to give money to the monks. They're sitting there, brahmacharis. And he says, how much you going to give? And I said, okay, I like to give like 500 rupees. And he says, no, you can't do that. So I said, why? He says, Maharaj, if you do that, all the monks, they get everything from the ashram, whatever they want. They're not lacking of food, clothing, and also they have some little money in their pocket. And he says, if you do that, then this is kind of thing that create the desire that what would they do with that money, Maharaj? And then he says, would invite all kinds of trouble. In our ashrams every year, we have a meeting, annual general meeting. And one of the responsibilities, among other things, I will have a chance to speak of what I do all over the world in conflict resolutions, United Nations, because that's a part of Swami Parameshananda's dictate, that his work should, mountains and seas, there should be no barriers to his work. Anyway, we'll have it, and then we read out the annual report and also the financial statement audited by the reputable accounting firm. Why? Because we want to have transparency, that whatever you give to us, devotees give to us, we want to give it to this annual general meeting with the masses of people, general members, and also invited guests coming. So we want our parts with the transparency is there. And this transparency is carried forward in our preaching party, 7 of them, teams, that go all over India, and they collected money and they bring it to the ashram. And every time they get 10 rupees and above, they will get a receipt, the devotees. And that's how we collect the funds. There was a time I was in Kolkata and we went for collection. And I went up 4 floors and I collected some money, like 100 rupees. So I came down thirsty and I thought I'd buy a water coconut. So just as about when I was putting it in the mouth, the head Swamiji came and he was angry and annoyed. He says, why are you doing this? This is not good. That why did you ask for a glass of water in the house of the devotee? And he said, he pointed up to the 4th floor. How much did that devotee give you? And I said, 10 rupees. So then he's saying, what image are you creating? That you're asking for money and then you buy water coconut? Why can't you drink the water? Also, this is how transparency is there. And as a financial controller, it's so important that each ashram, whether in India or any part of the world, that accountability has to be there in whatever activities are there. That no one person should be handling money. That the internal control that says that who is getting the money should be giving it to another person to put it in the bank after it's counted by 2 persons. And then the receipt has to be given to the bookkeeper, and then the bookkeeper will turn over everything to the accountant to certify it when he gives his financial statement. Without this transparency, this is a temptation. That Swami Parameshananda, he started this transparency way back, because we have to be sincere and we have to not go beyond temptation. Because when you don't give accountability, there's a temptation of taking money and use it for purposes that are not necessary. And even in the family, husband and wife and children, that all monies, when it's accounted for and all pooled together, and decision is made how to spend the money, and each husband and wife knows that decision and sanctions it. And children also, when they're giving their pocket money, the parents have to also find out, what do you need? What did you do with it? Very kindly, and that training from small will accountability of the child. Because when a husband and wife handles their own money, then that is its that's an ingredient for disaster, that all money should be pulled together. Now we're talking about Lakshmi Ma, because why? Lakshmi Ma will give when we follow good rules, when we're transparent, when we don't tempt ourselves beyond, our resistance. So this morning, religion is a practical thing. And for us at the BHARAT SEVASHRAM, Swamiji would have given us guidances, and the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita has given us that sloka, that this morning let us adhere to that. Let us be transparent in whenever we have dealings with money. And this will be, we'll be avoiding a lot of trouble. Because when you don't do accountability, you know it spells disaster. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om. This is a bhajan that talks about how we're bringing the waters from all the rivers, and also how we're in that mood of merriment to be worshipping the Guru. Now, there's no restrictions and limitations, that whoever your Guru is, you should bring that Guru in your presence, whether it's Christ, the Buddha, Lord Shiva, Mother Saraswati, whatever. But remember, that Guru has to be the Moksha Guru, not the Diksha Guru, because Diksha Guru is maybe the priest or the Swamiji give you a mantra, and you chant that mantra constantly. But that Shiksha, that Guru, the Shiksha Guru, doesn't have the ability to liberate you, because he might not be a liberated soul most of the time. But the Moksha Guru, like Swami Parameshananda ji and Mother Durga and all the deities, Krishna and Christ and the Buddha, these are all Moksha Gurus. Mangala Ashisha Mangal Dhara Bohiya Parichayaji Eshe Che Dware Vishwabhirata Mangala Devata Saja Mangala Ashishe Sundara Mandire Vandana Giti Sundara Mandire Vandana Giti Jaan Karo Aarati Nandana Preeti Antare Kandare Chandita Preeti Premamrita Utale Aji Mangala Ashishe Mangala Bari Dhara Mangal Kalashe Argyo Patro Niyesh Harashi Aji Sindhu Janhavi Narmada Kaveri Sindhu Janhavi Narmada Kaveri Abhishek Karko Aji Mangala Ashishe Mangal Dhara Bohiya Parichayaji. Sing this bhajan gives you that feeling of upliftment right away, because now it lifts you to the level where you're in the mood to surrender, because you have realized that your intellect, your mind, these are not developed enough to guide you through the life. So we're ready to surrender. And again, let's do that bring the Ganges literally by chanting this mantra. Om Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kavari Jale asmin snanidim kuru Om Kurukshetra Gaya Ganga Prabhasa Pushkarani cha Tirtanyatani Punyani Kale Bhavantaha. Make this place a pilgrimage. And also you and your place that you're in there in your house, you have made it a place of pilgrimage, because you have used your mind to transmit and transfer all that's happening here to your internally and out in your surroundings. Om Amrito Pastar Namasi Swaha Amrita Pidha Namasi Swaha Om Satyam Yasha Sri Mahi Srayatam Swaha Om Shanno Devi Ravishtayam Apo Bhavanta Pite Shanno Ravi Sravantuna Om Vapa Om Prana Prana Om Chakshu Chakshu Om Srotram Srotram Om Nabhi Om Hridayam Om Kantaham Siraham Om Bahobhyam Yashubalam Om Karatala Karaprishtim Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudit Udachite Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Dhyanamulam Gurumurti Puja Mulam Guru Param Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa. Bala Sisi Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Lakshmi Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukha Sampada Mama Satru Vinashaya Deepa Jyoti Namo Astate. Adorations to Lakshmi Ma. Om. Join me and just imagine you're doing this Abhishek, the washing the feet, the Lord's feet, and also we'll be drinking the water from the dust particles as a sign of humility and surrender. Om Sahasra Shirisha Purusha Sahasrakshu Sahasrapad Sabhumin Sarvato Sritva Atyatishta Dashangulam Om Sarvatah Pani Param Sat Sarvato Akshi Shiro Mukam Sarvatah Sruti Maloke Sarvamavritya Tishtate Om Jyoti Shama Pita Jyoti Tamasaha Paramuchyate Jnanam Geyam Jnanagamyam Riddhi Sarvasya Vishtitam Om Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivashaho Sharanam Sure Pravaha Pralayasthanam Nidhanam Bijam Abhayam Om Tvamadi Deva Purusho Purana Tvamasya Visvasya Param Nidhanam Tvamabhayo Sasvato Dharma Gupta Sanatanastvam Purusho Matome Om Pitasi Lokasya Characharasya Tvamasya Pujasya Garur Garyam Natvatsamo Asti Abhyadika Kuto Anyo Lokatrai Apiya Pratimam Prabhao Om Karojaya Guru Om Karojaya Shiva Om Karojaya Guru Om Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. With this agabati, I surrender my sense of smell. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. With this light, I surrender the sense of seeing. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. With this shell with water inside, I surrender myself of taste. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya. With the Trishul, I surrender my innate qualities, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Guru Om Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. As I fan the deities, they are gods and goddesses, deities, and the air is the sense of touch. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. With this flower, I worship you, O Lord, as God, as King. Karo Jaya Guru Om. Karo Jaya Shiva Om. My singing and prayers are for space. That's how we hear. This is for hearing. So we have surrendered our whole mind, body, and through the intellect or buddhi, we have this knowledge to do that. We have crushed the ego long time. So let us all pray now in this beautiful mantra where we adore to the Lord in the highest of form. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Omkara Murtaye Sakshat Parabrahma Swarupini. Namaste Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya Paratmane. Mahamukti Vidatreve Jnana Bhakti Pradayani Sri Gurave Namo Nityam Sudha Sata Sharirani Bhavavandana Chidhanancha Namami Sarva Sakshinam Gahorishtam Guhatitam Purushan Gehenatmakam Vanditakhilamarataya Pujitakshesha Bhaktaye Tejo Dipto Prakashaya Namaste Sarva Saktaye Prasanang Vandanang Devam Sarva Kalyana Karanam Namami Suksyamalangam Madhuram So Manoharam Bhamakaradritadandaya Namatrishulapanaye Amitaga Duritaya Pranavanandaya Te Nama Om Havatitam Yastu Mahabhava Yuktam Nirakaram Jaccha Sakaradiptam Om Ahaitukam Prema Ganadibhya Murtim Acharya Rupam Pranavam Namami Acharya Rupam Pranavam Namami Om Guru Kripahi Kevalam Guru Kripahi Kevalam Om Guru Kripahi Kevalam Guru Kripahi Kevalam Om Guru Kripahi Kevalam Guru Kripahi Kevalam. Bolo Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Shankar Bhagwan ki jai. Bhagwan Buddha ki jai. Sab Santan ki jai. Jai Sitaram. Take the water from the dust particles and drink it and put it all over your body for blessings, the greatest blessings. Do it. And we bring this camera close to the altar so you can put your head down in reverence and ovations to the feet of the Lord. And here the Shiva Lingam is there. In Hindu tradition is there. Krishna Bhagwan, Lord Shiva, Swami Parameshananda, the Buddha, and whatever deities you don't see here, imagine that you're bowing to them. Devotees, it's nice to be with you again this morning, this Saturday morning here in America. And spending your money, this COVID time, imagine we don't have the opportunity of going to restaurants and going on planes and trips and vacations and cruises. But we have the opportunity to do a pilgrimage, to take a pilgrimage. What is that pilgrimage? To go inside. That is the greatest pilgrimage. All the physical pilgrimage, going to India, to the rivers and the mountains and mandirs and whatever, they are all preparation to build you to that point where you can go inside. How blessed we are, we don't have to go anywhere. Spending money is a good, we have to think. And we also have to think what not to spend our money on. And this morning, go into that pilgrimage, going inside. The Lord is helping us to do that. We cannot say God is not helping us. It's just that we are not responding to His grace, which is a sin. Let us respond to His grace by performing our actions in collaboration with Him. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om.